everyone, my name is Febiola Kim and today I would like to present about William Shakespeare biography. So, who was William Shakespeare? William Shakespeare was a renowned English poet, playwright and actor born in 1564 in Stratford-upon-Avon. His birthday is most commonly celebrated on 23rd of April, which is also believed to be the date he died in 1616. William Shakespeare was a prolific writer during the Elizabethan and Jacobean ages of British theatre, or sometimes called the English Renaissance or the early modern period. Shakespeare's plays are perhaps his most enduring legacy, but they are not all he wrote. Shakespeare's poems also remain popular to this day. Now, we're going to talk about Shakespeare's family life. Records survive relating to William Shakespeare's family that offer an understanding of the context of Shakespeare's family life and the lives of his family members. John Shakespeare married Mary Arden and together they had 8 children. John and Mary lost 2 daughters as infants, so William became their eldest child. John Shakespeare worked as a glove maker, but he also became an important figure in the town of Stratford by fulfilling civic positions. His elevated status meant that he was even more likely to have sent his children, including William, to the local grammar school. William Shakespeare would have lived with his family in their house on Henley Street until he turned 18. When he was 18, Shakespeare married Anne Hathaway, who was 26. It was a rush marriage because Anne was already pregnant at the time of the ceremony. Together they had 3 children. Their first daughter Susanna was born 6 months after the wedding and was later followed by his twins Hamnet and Judith. Hamnet then died when he was just 11 years old. Shakespeare's career jump-started in London, but when did he go there? We know Shakespeare's twins were baptized in 1585 and that by 1592 his reputation was established in London, but the intervening years were considered a mystery. Scholars generally refer to these years as the lost years. During his time in London, Shakespeare's first printed works were published. There were 2 long poems, Venus and Adonis, in 1593 and The Rape of Larice in 1594. He also became a founding member of the Lord Chamberlain's Men, a company of actors. Shakespeare was the company's regular dramatist, producing on average 2 plays of a year for almost 20 years. He remained with the company for the rest of his career, during which time it evolved into the King's Men under the patronage of King James I from 1603. During his time in the company, Shakespeare wrote many of his most famous tragedies, such as King Lear and Macbeth, as well as the great romances like Winter's Tale and The Tempest, and also Romeo and Juliet. And now we're going to talk about Shakespeare's works. Altogether, Shakespeare's works include 38 plays, 2 narrative poems, and 154 sonnets, and a variety of other poems. No original manuscripts of Shakespeare's plays are known to exist today. It is actually thanks to a group of actors from Shakespeare's company that we have about half of the plays at all. They collected them for publication after Shakespeare died, preserving the plays. These writings were brought together in what is known as the First Folio. Shakespeare's legacy is as rich as diverse as his works. His plays have spawned countless adaptations across multiple genres and cultures. His plays have had an enduring presence on stage and films. His writings have been compiled in various iterations of the complete works of William Shakespeare, which include all of his plays, sonnets, and other poems. William Shakespeare continued to be one of the most important literary figures of the English language. Shakespeare's success in the London theatres made him considerably wealthy, and by 1597 he was able to purchase New Palace, the largest house in the borough of Stratford-upon-Avon. Although his professional career was spent in London, he maintained close links with his native town. Recent archaeological evidence discovered on the site of Shakespeare's new palace shows that Shakespeare was only ever an intermittent lodger in London. This suggests he divided his time between Stratford and London, a 2 or 3 day commute. In his later years, he may have spent more time in Stratford-upon-Avon than scholars previously thought. On his father's death in 1601, William Shakespeare inherited the old family home in Harley Street, part of which was leased to tenants. Further property investments in Stratford followed, including the purchase of 107 acres of land in 1602.